Yes, Your Honor, stand by. He's en route.
Yeah. Thanks.
Full name.
Hi, what's your name, please?
My name is Michael Easton Mathis.
Thank you. All right, I've got two files in front of me. May I call them together? Okay. All right. Mr. Mathis, you have the right to be represented by counsel with respect to these bond proceedings. All right. Are you?
I plead guilty.
Oh gosh. Mr. Mathis, please. You have the right to, Mr. Mathis. You have the right to remain silent. You're being recorded. Anything you say could be used against you in the future. All right. You have the right to have an attorney represent you. All right. We're going to go. All right. Okay. All right. Given that information, given the assaultive nature of the charges in front of me, I do find there to be a danger to the community. I am going to set a bond in this case. In both cases, bond will be set in the amount of $500,000 cash, no surety. Next court dates will be on the case in front of Judge King involving aggravated stalking, June 2nd for probable cause conference, June 8th for preliminary examination, both in front of Judge King. No contact with complainant. Other cases will be set in the same way, $500,000 cash, no surety. Someone will need to order a competency evaluation at the next hearing. Thank you. That one in front of Judge Bryan, July 24th. No contact with the complainant, and you cannot purchase or possess any firearms or other dangerous weapons. She won't let me. He keeps.
Thank you, Judge. Thank you, Mr. Guthrie.
Thank you.
Mr. Marvin Kennedy. Now I'm calling the matters of people versus Marvin Kennedy. This is case number 23044462201, aggravated assault. Case number 220452741, one count malicious destruction of personal property, $200 to $1,000, and case number 220447961, telecommunications service malicious use. Appearance and ticket number 220448141, one count assault or assault and battery. Appearances for the record, starting with counsel, please.
For the record, Your Honor, Christina Ritter on behalf of the people. Judge, just to be clear, I heard the assault and battery case number and then the telecommunications service malicious use case number.
Yes.
And then I had an aggravated assault on my docket.
This one I called too. It's 23044462201, aggravated assault. I may not have said it clearly. I apologize.
It's okay, Judge. I'll have only three. Those three. I didn't have the malicious destruction of property case on my docket.
Okay. Add case two.
But just to continue, Judge, I have the complainant witness present for case number ending in 796, 814, and 462 present on Zoom this morning. Ms. Loper, can you unmute yourself and just state your name for the court, please? Can you hear me? Yes, ma'am. Just state your name for the court. Michelle Loper.
In Your Honor, Ryan Murad, PA 3665, on behalf of Mr. Marvin Kennedy, who's present in the courtroom. Mr. Kennedy, can you please state your full name for the record, sir?
Yes, Marvin Kennedy.
All right, counsel, how are we proceeding with these cases?
Judge, I'm so sorry. I don't want to belabor this, but I also don't have a malicious destruction of property on my docket. Does the court have a fourth case for Mr. Kennedy, or
Yeah, I can. No, but it's not belaboring it. Sometimes we don't always have everything. It's case number 2204527401. It happened on August 11th, allegedly 2022. And let me look at the recap real quick. That's because this isn't him. Okay, my bad. Malicious destruction of property isn't him. As I read, I said that's not his name. Sorry.
It's okay, Judge.
This has these three cases.
got it? So, on behalf of Mr. Kennedy, Judge, he does continue his plea of not guilty on all three matters. We would ask the court to set this matter for a final pretrial conference. We're requesting all discovery.
Okay. All right. The court is going to set these matters for a final pretrial conference on the date of August the 10th at 9 a.m. Ma'am, Ms. Loper, you can come for that final conference if you would like to be assumed. That's fine. His bond, I believe he was given bond on each one of those. Those bonds will stay in place and continue at this point in time. I'm sorry about that mix-up.
No, you're okay.
It's okay, Judge. Judge, may the people actually address bond at this time?
You may.
Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, the people had an opportunity to speak with the complainant witness, Ms. Loper. Not to get too much into the facts of these cases, Judge, Ms. Loper and Mr. Kennedy, they were not in a dating relationship. They were friends, so they do know each other. Ms. Loper did express that because of these incidents, she is afraid of Mr. Kennedy, so there is a concern for her safety. So I'm just going to ask the court to just reiterate that there's absolutely no contact between Mr. Kennedy and Ms. Loper while these cases are pending. And also, Judge, just to put on the record that if we do, hear that there is a violation of the no contact order, the people would actually be filing an emergency bond motion hearing. So I just want to put the court and defense counsel on notice that there should be absolutely no contact.
Just a brief response, if I may, a brief inquiry. I wasn't aware, Ms. Ritter, has there been any alleged contact since the arraignment? Because I was not made aware.
From the information I received from Ms. Loper, yes.
Okay. Well, Judge, I will reiterate that no contact order with Mr. Kennedy. I did just have an opportunity to look this up. He came in person, Judge, so I wasn't the specific attorney who got to really talk to him about this case. I'm sure and confident that I'll be able to reiterate that information. Obviously, no contact is what we're going to be abiding by. And I'm going to have to also make this request. I know the court may not grant it at this time, but I'd ask the court to at least consider it. There was a GPS tether placed on Mr. Kennedy. I just found that in the Register of Action. I understand that there has been an allegation, Judge, of some sort of contact, but I haven't seen any tether violation. I don't have anything before me that tells me Mr. Kennedy was in the premises of the complainant. But I do hear the people's concern. I think a no contact order should suffice here, Judge. I'd ask the court to consider removing the GPS tether at this time. If the court's not willing to do that, I guess I'd only ask the court to consider reserving a decision to maybe hear us out at the final pretrial if he's continued or if he's maintained to no contacts between these pretrials conferences.
All right. Sir, you already heard she does not want to have contact with you at this point in time. Ms. Domenica. Okay. She does not want to have any type of contact. Ms. Lopez. That means not by phone, not through a third party. And at this point in time, she doesn't want you in her space and in her area, okay? So make sure that you uphear that. I'm not going to take off his tether at this point in time. I'll leave it in reserve though, so that the next judge can be able to, you're gonna let me finish talking. Because when you interrupt me in the middle, that further lets me know that you're not listening. You're just ready to say whatever you want to say. I don't know what went down. I'm not saying that you're guilty of anything. All I'm saying is that at this point in time, she's expressed some concerns based on the fact that you whatever you've done or has alleged to be done. You cannot have any contact with her at all at this point in time. Okay? And I'm going to keep on a GPS tether just to ensure that that happens between now and then. And then when you hear, go ahead. I didn't get a chance right now.
Hold on. Mr. Kennedy, you're being recorded right now. Hold up. I hear you. I know you haven't had a chance to tell your side. Just hold on. You're being recorded. Let me talk to you first before you go on the record and say whatever you're going to say. Let me talk to you. Maybe we can recall this. But whatever you're about to do, don't do it. It only can be used against you. I know Judge Taylor, that tether's not coming off today. Trust me. Let me and you have a conversation. If you're not guilty, we're going to fight this to the bank, and it will be shown that way. But right now is not the time to do what you're about to do on the record. I'm going to ask you to leave your phone number with Mr. Clerk on your way out. I'm going to give you a call, and we're going to square this thing up, okay?
Yes.
Trust me. Okay is the best response for you right now. Trust me. You and I are going to get on the phone in a second. Please don't go on a tangent right now. Please don't.
Is it affecting your work ability?
Yes, ma'am. That's all I want to say. I don't have no objections to the GPS tether at this point.
Okay.
Okay, you said that you want to leave it time with me.
Okay.
Would you please extend my hours?
Okay.
Okay, because I'm working on a project and I would like to continue. I'm trying to there was first a bank, then a church, and now it's about to be a daycare, 24-hour daycare. And I need extra time to do the project. I would love to finish it.
How much extra time are you looking for, sir? What are your GPS hours right now?
To 10. I think 12
PM?
p.m. Yes. I think I love doing what I do.
Your Honor, may I briefly? Sorry,
Yeah.
sir. May I?
You can't. I thought you was going to say something like 5, and I was going to give him some extra time. He said till 10 p.m.
No.
Hold on, Mr. Kennedy, 1 second, please.
I'm saying midnight it'll be fine. Because I would literally go in there and spend the night and just work. But that's kind of my stress. That's all I wanted to say.
Okay, thank you. Your Honor, I'm so sorry.
Okay.
I would make one request only. You know, this tether is obviously in place. It is a rarity to see tethers on the misdemeanor docket, but I understand there's been an allegation of no contact, so I know that tether's not coming off. The only thing I would ask, Your Honor, is to keep the complainant's area restricted. He can't go there. That will go off and it will violate him immediately. But, Your Honor, I would just ask that any other restrictions be removed at this time. I don't know if we should keep him on a curfew necessarily. I would just ask that tether be imposed to really ensure the no contact order is followed. I think that's really the purpose of it. I don't want to continue to limit him in his employment, Judge. Would the court consider removing, I know he's got some hours, but would the court consider removing those restrictions and just keeping the no contact order with the complaining witness and her address and place of work and anywhere else she wants really in place, but so he can still continue to live his life, and that tether is really just to keep him away from the complaining witness and maybe for his own protection too.
Ms. Ritter, you have a response?
So, Judge, like the people said in the beginning, Mr. Kennedy does know Ms. Loper. He does know of her whereabouts, where she is, where she visits. He's actually dating her daughter at this time. So again, her concerns is that her safety is at issue because there were threats made by Mr. Kennedy and also Mr. Kennedy's son against Ms. Loper. So I'm asking the court to actually keep the curfew times. I mean, if he wants to verify the hours of his job, that'll be fine. But I'm asking the court to keep that curfew in place so that GPS tether is imposed with the curfew.
Do we have the locations that he can't be near? Is this daycare center in that area?
Judge, I'm not sure if the daycare center, I don't have the address of the daycare center, Judge, so I'm not sure if that's part of the exclusion zone. If I'm not mistaken, I think the exclusion zone is Miss Loper's home.
All right. All right, I'm gonna adjust the hours. I'm just gonna make it for the area. The first violation, I don't even know, I didn't realize he had GPS. I'm gonna put you in the Wayne County jail. You hear me? Wayne County jail, then you won't be working at all for a misdemeanor. Do you really wanna go to Wayne County jail for a misdemeanor? Don't do it. All right, so we'll just make it exclusionary in the area. Your son is not to have any contact with Ms. Loper.
Don't respond, Mr. Kennedy, don't respond.
Okay, no
For
response.
all allegations, don't respond.
Exactly. Thank you. Tell them again what?
These are all allegations. We know it's not true, Mr. Kennedy. Just don't respond. Take care of it. Respond.
That's part of it. I'm telling you right now. If she contacts Ms. Ritter and says that anybody associated with you is making threats towards her and she does not feel comfortable, then you're gonna have to come back to court. Okay? So nobody associated with you, okay, can do that, okay? I understand. Listen, you may be attached to her daughter, married to her daughter, with her daughter, but she doesn't want to have any contact with you. So just don't have any contact. That's all you have to do. Just don't have you don't have to have a response. I'm telling you. And I know. I get it. I see it's a dynamic right now, okay? But I'm giving you some leeway. So just prove to me that this is just what you believe it to be, okay?
I know it.
Okay? All right. I think we've litigated this enough for today. That's the order of this court. Okay, we'll see everybody back
What's the
August 10th.
hours?
You don't have any hours. Okay? All right, sir? But the moment you violate it, to a third person, anybody like that, it's gonna put some hours back on it, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
None. Don't have any contact with her. There's no reason, no third party, no son, no nothing. Just don't say nothing. Just keep silent on everything for right now. All right, people have a right to feel comfortable in their communities, especially in their homes. Okay? All right. If there's nothing further, that concludes this hearing. Thank you.
Nothing further. Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, you're welcome.
Olivia Nowak, 2300681.
Good morning. Oops. Good morning, Your Honor. Leslie Coles on behalf of Olivia Nowak. P61843.
Ms. Nowak,
Or approving this being conducted by Zoom.
Ms. Nowak, state your name, please.
Olivia Nowak.
All right. Today's date and time set for a pretrial in this matter. It's my understanding there's a request to adjourn this, correct, Ms. Posner?
Correct, Your Honor.
It looks like you want to get to work with Ms. Nowak and see if you can put her in the best possible position, not just in regards to this case, but in all areas when it comes to sobriety, healthy living, all of that, correct?
I'm pleased to announce that she's on board. She's going to meetings, she's got a sign-in sheet, she's getting a sponsor. She is actually listening to me, which makes me extremely happy. Because I consider myself, her attorney, but also a mini sponsor, because I've been doing this for so many years. And I know the only way to succeed is to do the program. So she's on.
So she hasn't officially been arraigned here because there is a waiver of arraignment. So I'm going to set a $500 personal bond. Ms. Nowak, that's not a cash bond. That's your personal promise that you'll show up for all future court dates and that you'll follow all my bond conditions. Now, through Southfield, did they have her on some sort of testing?
Yes.
Right. What are they having her do for testing?
Well, if you tell me your testing schedule, I don't have it.
I do 3 tests a month randomly for alcohol.
Okay.
Drugs randomly.
And that was for a probation for a first offense. Now you're facing a charge for a second offense, drinking and driving. So that testing protocol 3 times a month is really insufficient based on the allegations. And
she also has a violation coming up on that first offense because of this incident. So
I agree, Ms. Posner. My guess though is that once they hear that of this court's bond conditions, then my hope is perhaps that they'll follow along with those rather than incarcerate her. So I do think an increase in testing is appropriate. So I'm going to order a SoberLink device along with pretrial services. The SoberLink will be at 4 times a day. Pretrial services, Miss Nowak, I want you to write this phone number down. It's 248-451-2326. And you'll call them and they'll help you set up your SoberLink testing. It's a portable device like the size of an iPhone. You blow into it multiple times during the day. There should be do not leave the state of Michigan without the permission of this court. No new criminal offenses. Let us know if you change your address. Obviously, follow all terms and conditions of your Southfield probation. No alcohol, marijuana, or any illegal controlled substances. And like I said, you'll be on the SoberLink at 4 times a day. No bars, clubs, liquor stores while on bond. How often is she going to meetings, Ms. Posner?
I have her sign-up sheet. How long? I didn't look at each thing. Tell me.
At least twice a week. I was going 3, but now it's like twice, Tuesdays and Fridays, at least. I work full-time still. I go to school full-time still, and I'm doing my community service at my days.
And I am working on getting her into a inpatient because she does have insurance through her mother that I think will get her into a 2-week program with the Sacred Heart or something. So
at the very least, have her look into an IOP, outpatient, something along. She should be going to 3 times a week meetings, so I'm adding that as a requirement. Ma'am, I know you have school, I know you have work, all right, but those things were in place when the new alleged offense took place, and they didn't prevent you from having this type of situation, so you've got to put your sobriety first. Ms. Posner is an expert when it comes to that, and she would tell you first and foremost, you start with your sobriety and you fit everything else in, because if you don't have your sobriety, you won't have any of the rest of that stuff. So that's the reality, Ms. Nowak. It's a tough reality.
I need a job, though. I got to pay for all this, so I kind of need a job. So
can she do an online program the one time? Because she is very committed to the 2 times a week, and I have sign-up sheets, and she's already working on getting a sponsor. So she is going. She's just trying to keep it all together. So I'm working with her. It's hard to do the 2 weeks, the school and with her job.
So Ms. Posner, that's why I don't have an issue. I'm not requiring either inpatient or intensive outpatient. I do think intensive outpatient would make more sense and allow her to stay out. But if you notice, Ms. Nowak, I didn't order either of those things because I want you, Ms. Posner, to start to figure out how it is that perhaps you can preserve your job and work on your sobriety at the same time.
And go to school and do my community service.
Your Honor, can I ask you a question, please? Obviously, I'm qualified as a sponsor. On the phone for at least 45 minutes a week, in addition to the 2 in-person meetings. Could that count as a 3rd meeting? Because she is trying real hard and she's got a lot of stress and she's doing everything I say. I don't want to spread her too thin, but we could talk once a week for an hour at least. Or
well, there are online meetings.
Yeah, but how do I get my paper signed on the Zoom meeting?
Don't worry, you'll tell me.
Whoa. So, hold on. We're going to stop 1 second. Ms. Nowak, let's have a real conversation right now. You were on probation for a drinking and driving offense, and you are allegedly committed another drinking and driving offense. You're lucky you're not on a tether. You're lucky you're not sitting in jail.
Right.
All right? So let's have a real, honest, frank conversation. Okay? So now, all of these things, all these concerns that you have, they are valid concerns. But you are looking at an offense that you could potentially face up to a year. All right? So all of these great plans and ideas and things that you have, they will be gone if you don't get this right. All right? So that's where we start from. We start from how do we get this to work? Now, when it comes to documenting, now I've been doing this for a long time, Ms. Nowak. There have been lots of people who have had to manage this challenge. We know how to document the online meetings, and we can provide that sort of guidance for you. So I'm not saying that you can't go to online meetings. We'll just help you navigate how to document it. So if you're wondering, like, how do I document it? Well, that's something that we would have contemplated. All right? The whole idea here is we need you to be sober and still have something to fight for. Because you're right. If I just locked you up or you lost your job or then you lose stuff to fight for. Okay? But you also have to see it from my perspective, which is I've seen many people come through the court in this circumstance, people who say, I've got to stay sober for my job, and they can't. All right? I got to stay sober to go to school, and they can't. The only people who are able to stay sober are the ones that say, I need to stay sober for myself. All right? That's the reality every single time.
Absolutely.
So
I didn't give her that option because I didn't know that you could document the online, but that's perfect.
we can, Ms. Posner. Now, you and I both know the in-person are far and away better, but
And she's loving it. She's doing it and she's enjoying it and she's getting something out of it. We talk about it all the time.
but if it means that I can at least get her connected with people, even online, and
Yes.
then that helps her with her job and her work, I'm willing to work with you on that, Ms. Nowak. So that's where I'm at. I'm at least willing to hear what you have to say. I'm hopeful that you are hearing what I'm saying.
I do.
And I've done some online meetings since COVID, and they're actually sort of interesting and fun. If I find them fun, well, they kept me sober 30 years, so what can I tell you about that?
All right. So what I would even recommend, Ms. Posner, is just go ahead and reach out to my probation department and discuss how they document it. And so their phone number is 248.
Wait, I'm slow on writing because I just had my shoulder replaced with a metal ball. So give me a minute here.
That's right. There is a way to do this, Ms. Nowak. It's 248 246 3670, and just say, Judge Meineke asked me to recall you so that I could find out how my client could document online meetings, and I'll give you the lowdown on how that happens.
Perfect, thank you.
All right. So my hope is, Ms. Nowak, that it's gone from feeling impossible to, although difficult, possible. So I hope that makes more sense now, having had this conversation. Does it at all?
Sure. The first phone number you gave me to call, the 248-4551, what is that? What am I asking for? It's a blowing device?
So that's the one that you'll need to call to set up the SoberLink device.
Okay.
The other one, your attorney's going to call.
Okay.
All right? So you worry about, and they're not even going to have the information. You continue to do your ETGs. I won't even worry about calling them until Monday because they won't even have this report, so you won't have to start on the blowing machine until Monday.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
All right?
It's easier to go to meetings when you don't have to drive there, too.
Right. Well, that's like I said. These are all on the table as long as she's willing to put her sobriety first and recognize that has to come first. It does. All right.
I'm encouraged to believe so far from her listening to me and doing what I've told her to do that she's ready to get this going and do it right.
Good luck, Mr. Nowak. We'll see you in a couple weeks. Thank you.
Thank you, Honor. Have a good day.
Thank you.
All right, and that happy weekend, I guess, huh?
Thank you, Ms. Posner.
Thank you.